At the moment, the training is all about putting on as much mass as possible. So obviously the meal plan or the diet around that has to be kind of aligned with that goal. So it's a lot of calories. Want some water? She loves water, don't you? You love it. Yeah. It's good for you first thing in the morning, a glass of water.
You going to the beach?
Is it alright down there? Is it mild or like Oh, easy. Huh? You won't say anything controversial, will you? She absolutely adores being outside. Huh? You've always been an outside baby, haven't you? I haven't been in since I got back. I've been back about 6 weeks now. And it's playing on my mind, you know. Because when I was in Australia, I was like, one of the things I missed most was getting in swimming. And now I haven't been in, and I'm kind of starting to give it power in terms of over me, you know. I'm starting to fear it. Like, oh fuck, it's going to be so cold. Like, the internal conversation is like, fuck that, it's going to be so cold that first time you get back in. So it's creating a reluctance within me. So I'm just going to have to bite the bullet one of the days. I can feel it as well in my body. Like, I feel I'm not getting that little bit extra, that 5%er that the sea gives you in your training, you know, to recover. So yeah, there's a bit of a, what would you say, agitation around it now. I really need to just fucking get back in, you know, and take the power back, as they say. Not let fear kind of manipulate the narrative, or manipulate the actions there and the narrative. It's very disempowering when you do that, you know. So I recognize all this stuff, I'm aware of it, but I still have yet to get in. Between business, Project Empower, and family, mother of God, running around like fucking trying to be as efficient with my time as possible, and trying to like manage everything and get everything moved forward every day and get quality work in, of course, with training as well. Fuck. Some days there I was like getting to bed at like 2 after training in the gym till like 12:30, 1. Craziness. If you told me that a few weeks ago or a few months ago, I would have said, no, I'm institutionalized to train in the morning from rugby, you know. Get up early, get your shit done. And then like now you're training at like 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night. I would have never believed you if you told me. But it's just the way it worked out, and it's the best fit for us at the moment, you know, that I train when they're in bed. So yeah, it's been fucking full on, Jesus Christ. But you just keep going, huh? You just keep fucking plowing on. Try and do your best every day. All right. It's no joke, this parenting gig. Yeah. But when it comes to just getting into the water, I'm like, just fucking get in. Because it can be a lot of faffing around, like, you know. There's a thing now as well where everyone seems to want guidance or help, or, you know, somebody to tell them what to do. And without that, there's a lot of inaction where you can be your own fucking teacher. Like, so And the water is a perfect example. The cold water immersion is a perfect example of that. Like, so instead of waiting for somebody to tell you, you have to do fucking all this breathing shit and then get in the water. Just fucking get in, like, and feel it. Feel what it gives you, you know. And learn through your own sensations and your own perceptions, and learn to build your mind that way by kind of deciphering perceptions through your own reality, like, and changing your reality. Good morning. That reluctance can be like, well, it's the opposite to what kind of the highest aspirations of a human should have. It's the freedom, you know, the freedom inside yourself. And it creates so many barriers, like, so this thing about like always waiting for somebody to show you or teach you or tell you what to do when it's inside yourself, it annoys me so much, that whole narrative that's out there. I'll take you out for a second. Good morning, how are you? No. Huh? Did you forget who was carrying you? You want my hat? Even on no fingers. It's weird because I get asked the question quite a bit, and I've left it behind. It's like I've processed it, moved on, and then I'm a bit kind of, it seems it's so far from my kind of awareness now that when people are asking me, I'm kind of a bit taken aback, and I'm like, oh yeah, Everest, yeah. And then I can't really massively relate to the emotions I felt around it, because I mean, they're just, it's not something I'm dwelling on. It's not something that's I really think about. I gave it fucking everything I got when I was in the moment and living and there and living the experience. And once you do that, I find it's very easy to move on, you know, even if it was unsuccessful as it was, like, so I'm not so then when somebody asks me, I can kind of feel a little bit like disappointed for them, because I'm not really going to be able to give them a kind of a very real insight into what I was going through, because it's gone, like, you know. I nearly say, here, go listen to the podcast, because I fucking poured it all out there while I was there. And they probably have in some cases, you know. They're just, it's just obviously a very easy thing to bring up with me. Kind of confluence of things that came about, like her birth, leaving her, some like fucking financial situations, like medium term kind of outlook, what I saw was a vision or a pathway, you know, and this had to be done at that time, so such a unique kind of set of circumstances that I actually went. Yeah, we're nearly home, don't worry. And that caused like huge amount of disruption in my preparation. So even the things like I would normally be very kind of secure and confident over, they didn't happen, like with the mental preparation towards the end. So, and then I was hit with this crazy emotional challenge that I never saw coming. Like I'd never been in that situation before, been away, you know, never been a dad before. Obviously she was only 5 days old, so it was and a huge element of guilt involved. Leaving Roselle. Hey, we'll be home now in 2 seconds. So, you know, that was genuine, real challenge. Really fucking tough, you know, so it was very unexpected. So the whole thing itself was just this bizarre experience. Yeah, I don't... but you know, at the same time, so there's not a lot to really convey to people, like, because it was just fucking, it was madness, like it was a clusterfuck from the start. And there was no real kind of stability in what I was doing. I was just finding a way through every day, finding a way through, stay in the fight, find a way through, find a way through. That's kept saying to myself. So like, well, how do you convey that to people? Like, hi mummy, hello. So the way I left Everest was basically happy with how I kind of acted there and the values I embodied, and I kind of was easy to process it then. Come on in. Hello.
Oh, look at this one.
Oh, your mum's on there.
Yeah, my mom.
Hi, Renelle.
Yeah, I'll say goodbye. Love you, Mom. Love you, Mom.
Now. Oh, cold hands. Cold hands. Warm heart, though, right?
You got it.
Fresh.
It's very
Yeah.
fresh.
Basically, Friday we kind of purposely put it in the calendar that we have a family kind of breakfast together. It's it's something we love doing. It started. Rosella's from Queensland, and we were living out there for the last year, and it's really part of their kind of culture out there. So it started out there as a way to kind of find places that have really good breakfast and go somewhere different, kind of a little family adventure every Friday. Find places that have good coffee, and we just continued. It's just a way of getting out and doing something different, having a little family kind of exploration every Friday, and continuing that routine that we have, you know. No, I just hopped on 2 minutes ago. I just came up with the idea there a couple of days ago, so I said I'd share it. The ledge to hang on to. Now, are you and Mummy gonna
Yeah.
be okay?
Yeah,
For a
good.
few hours? We're heading to where myself and Gussie have set up the gym for training for Project Empower. So Project Empower is my next big expedition. It's happening May next year. We're going to row, so it's a Transatlantic Ocean Row from west to east, so from New York City to Galway. So we're doing it's about 3,000 miles across the North Atlantic. So it's a, monumental kind of undertaking. It's a very kind of challenging ocean row. So it'll be a few steps up on what I've done before in terms of the challenge of it. I'm doing it with a good friend Gussie Farrell, and he has a yard out here with a garage and some space. So I had the gear from my old, what I called my old pain cave, which is just where I lived before I moved to Australia. So I had like loads of shit I'd invested in over years. So we've just taken it out of storage and put it in here so we can train anytime we want. And some of the training is quite specialized. So the equipment is specialized, and it's bought with my needs in mind, you know, so there's certain types of bars and sleds and stuff like that that I need really to keep on top of my performance. So we train here basically 6 days a week, and that's where we're headed now. He won't be here today because he is working. He has something he couldn't get out of, which is, in fairness to him, very unusual. He's considering he has a business to run. He's been really good in making himself available to train around kind of my schedule. Some stuff I need that commercial gyms just don't have, you know, to keep kind of my performance. So I train for performance. Like, I don't train just to train. I don't train to get to look good. I train for performance, basically. So there's certain gear that I need with all things considered. You know, with my background in rugby, my body's pretty beaten up. So I invested. I love training. Absolutely adore it. It's a huge part of my life. It's given me more than I can ever articulate. You know, so so I put some money into it, and I also will be using it for some of this equipment will be used for events that I'm going to experiences or events that I'm going to run over the next couple of years. Pretty hardcore shit. I always start my sessions with some sort of cat-cow. So I just try and connect upper and lower limbs. Make that connection as early as possible, because you know we're training for performance, but particularly for rowing, there's a big transfer of power through that trunk section, and it's a weak area for me. It's a weakness of mine, so I just try and get into it as early as possible. It's a big part of my, like, what I call my ready to train period, which is this now. So I have a lot of dysfunction in my upper body, well, in my body generally. So my warm-ups normally take, or my ready to train period, it's very concentrated. It normally takes an hour and 15 minutes until I'm kind of ready to actually go and make everything is in some way ready to train in terms of activation and range of motion and mobility. This is one of those bits of equipment I talked to you about that, like, you just won't find in a commercial gym. It's called the earthquake bar, and it basically is a different way to kind of connect all the. It has a kinetic energy use that really makes you have to lock in on the technique and control the bar using kind of, it shows up flaws in your technique, so you have to really control the range of motion and the movement and the bar plane of the plane of movement of the bar while you're working it. Makes you lock in all those real kind of difficult to connect shoulder shoulder stabilizers. So I love this bar. It's because my shoulders are fucked. I've had I had one big surgery on it. I never really recovered from the fact that I probably should have had surgery before that, and I played about 2/3 of a rugby season on a shoulder that was fucked. And then the next season, worked really hard, got it really strong, but it broke down and I needed to have like 4 different repairs. It's never really recovered. Dan John is a famous strength coach. He says the warm-up is the session. So I put a lot of time into my ready to train or my warm-up because you're going to get more out of the training session that way. And every moment is an opportunity, you know, in the training to get better and to be more ready for what's coming. So making these connections, mind-muscle connections, activations in the warm-up is really important. So I try and be patient with it and respect it and give it my best kind of intention. I've only got an hour to work. That's it. As much work as I can do in an hour. I try not to go, or I endeavor to go no more than an hour. So to save time in between in between sets and exercises, I try and get it all kind of set up beforehand. Because we're working on work capacity and mass to try and get as much work done in this session as possible. So today I'm aiming at like 40 sets in 60 minutes. So to do that, obviously got very little rest between sets and reps, or sets and then exercises. So just to give myself the best chance of achieving that, try and get set up before as much as the exercises I can before the session. So first exercise is fat grip pull-ups. So off this bar, are chin-ups. So close grip chin-ups, or reverse grip, whatever you want to call it. And I'm doing a thing called cluster sets. So a cluster set is where we find our maximum for 3 reps or 5 reps, and then we dilute the reps we do down to singles or triples, depending if we're working in 3s or 5s. So today I'm working off my 3 rep max on fat grip, reverse grip, fat grip, chin-ups. So what I'll do means then I'll do 5 reps on my 3 rep max, but I'll do that by doing 1 rep, taking 15 seconds break, 1 rep, 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 15 seconds break. So that means I've done 5 reps on my 3 rep max. So it's a way to stimulate strength gains. So you're overreaching on a weight by manipulating rest periods. So I'll take this off because it's going to get in the way. Just throw up my hood because my hair is shocking at the moment. I'll get started. So I do 1, step away from the bar and then count 15, 14, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pretty happy with that. Haven't done those in ages, so. I'll take those reps. I'll take that strength. So between strength exercises like that, I take 3 minutes. So I take 3 minutes now before I start the next one, which is a bench pull, a slightly inclined bench pull. And on this, I'm going to do a thing called rest pause. So on that weight, I'm going to keep that weight throughout. I'm going to do as many reps, quality reps as possible. Drop it for 20 seconds. Then as many reps after that as possible. Drop it for 20 seconds, as many reps as possible. Drop it for 20 seconds, and that's one set of rest pause. And I'm going to do 3 sets on this today. So in total, it's really 12 sets. It's 12 working sets, but it gets the work done really quickly. So with this one arm row, I'm really concentrating on my spinal position. So with this one, I'm just trying to connect everything. Really want to feel those spinal kind of stabilizers, the spinal erectors, my core, and my trunk, all nice and solid. Feel that in my hamstrings, feel that in my upper back. So it's kind of not too bothered really about the movement element of it, more bothered about the position and dialing that in. So it's nice and strong and tensioned, you know, with no dumps in the positioning, no dumps in the tension, because for rowing that is crucial. Part that's going to break down early when you fatigue. Fuck me. So 42 sets done. I'm going to do 3 more and then I'm done. It's a lot of work. Slightly different exercise, just a bent over rear delta raise. Again, I try and get that position on the first rep. The first rep is paramount, so I try and take my time to make that mind-muscle connection between the biofeedback, the feedback my body is giving me, and my positioning. And if I'm not getting it, I just move around a little bit until I feel it really tightening. So yeah, that's it. I reckon by my count I had 46 sets done in about 50 minutes, and then we did the carries and a bit of ab work at the end. So really good session. Really happy with that. The fact that I train on my own, you know, I can get more work done, I can take less rest. But yeah, very happy with that session. This is kind of the last week of this real volume of stuff. So 46 sets in an hour is, yeah, a serious amount of work to put through your body, you know. So yeah, delighted with that. That's a big step up on about 4 weeks ago. And strength is pretty good, movement pretty good. This left shoulder is a little bit out of position, so I really need to work on that. Actually, that's what I'm going to do. I'll bring this home with me and do some trigger pointing with it, get it into my lats, get it into my lower trap, spend 2 minutes on it in a few different places and keep on top of that. But all in all, yeah, really good session, and yeah, very happy where I'm at now. Yeah, the rest of the evening, I'll get home now. We're only about 2 minutes from there, and then yeah, I'll cook dinner for Elodie and Roselle and myself, obviously. A big feed for me now after that, and this shake is full of a thing called Vitargo and protein. So it's Vitargo is a rapid release waxy maize carbohydrate, so it's really good around bulking. So, and I'll have a big feed now, and then feed the girls, and then I'll get Elodie bath time, and then get her to bed, and then just work then for the rest of the evening. I'll be in front of the laptop probably until fucking midnight, because I've loads of shit to do. Loads of shit. There's just at the moment there's been loads of shit to do, because like I said, in a period of building and launching this new platform, the Damian Browne method. So there's always something to do. If it's not one of those, it's the sales, marketing side, social media, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, and that's kind of a regular enough day, for me. Like as you can see, it's kind of been non-stop. But yeah, it's all good. As long as I'm getting shit done, as long as I'm productive, as long as I'm moving the needle forward in all the kind of facets, be that family, be that product and power, be that my training, be that the business, I'm happy. I don't need a lot. I just need to be, working away at those things all the